Tonight, our special transmission as the launch of soft drink Palestine Cola is being welcomed by pro-Palestinian consumers. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Humaira Karodia. Today is the 152nd day since Israel started targeting civilians incessantly. Palestinian Health Ministry reports overnight Israeli airstrikes have killed 83 Palestinians. 142 have been injured. 3 airstrikes hit residential buildings in Dar al-Bala and Nusayrat refugee camp, killing at least 15 Palestinians. The Israeli military says it has killed 6 Hamas fighters in Khan Yunis. A report by NGO Refugees International says Israel is consistently blocking aid operations for Gaza. This comes as humanitarian organizations are warning the enclave is falling deeper into a famine. The NGO is calling for increased aid delivery in Gaza to prevent deaths due to malnutrition. The Norwegian government has urged its companies to avoid business activities that contribute to maintaining illegal Israeli settlements. The death toll from Israeli attacks is staggering. At the time of writing, 30,800 Palestinians have died. Another 8,000 are presumed dead under the rubble. 20 Palestinians have died to malnutrition and dehydration. 72,298 Palestinians have been injured. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas attacks stands at 1,139. The Israeli military says 587 soldiers have died since the onset of its war. South Africa has approached the International Court of Justice for an immediate action against Israel. The petition is asking for additional measures to prevent the threat of famine faced by Palestinians. South Africa has requested the World Court to ensure basic services and humanitarian aid reach Gaza without delay. In a statement issued yesterday, the South African presidency says the people of Gaza cannot wait. It has asked the World Court to order measures without scheduling a new round of hearings because of the extreme urgency of the situation. The United Nations is warning of widespread famine if action isn't taken promptly. Aid organizations blame military operations and blockade by Israeli forces for the food shortage. The World Food Programme is calling for increasing aid convoys to meet the basic needs. This is the second time South Africa has reached World Court in regards to Israel's war on Palestine. South Africa's previous lawsuit in World Court alleges Israel's action in Gaza constitute as genocide. The International Court of Justice interim ruling orders Israel to refrain from genocidal acts. Israel denies the allegations. A final ruling from The Hague may take years. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has stirred controversy by urging Israel to finish the problem in its war against Palestine. His statement during an interview on Fox News implies a call for intensified violence and potential genocide. Trump has suggested that Israel's recent military actions would not have occurred if he was in office. While Trump's remarks did not explicitly endorse continued bombardment, they signal a hardline stance against Palestinians and Hamas. This contradicts his previous claims of being anti-war. Trump's remarks have reignited debate over his approach to foreign conflicts and the implications of potential return to office. Two Palestinian brothers have initiated production of a soft drink, Palestine Cola, in Sweden. The drink is an alternative to soda drinks Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Coca-Cola and Pepsi are being boycotted for their ties to Israel. The production of Palestine Cola is welcomed by consumers supporting the Palestinian cause. Calls for boycotts against companies profiting from supporting Israel have intensified since Israel started its war against Palestine. In the Gulf of Aden, a Houthi missile strike on a merchant ship has resulted in the death of 3 sailors. The attack on a Greek operated vessel took place about 50 nautical miles off Yemen's port of Aden. The vessel was Barbados flagged. The attack has damaged the vessel significantly. A Houthi military spokesman has claimed responsibility. He says the attack is to show solidarity with Palestinians. The attack follows a series of Houthi assaults on international shipping, which have disrupted global trade routes. Despite US led airstrikes, the group remains capable of launching significant attacks. The UN has called for an end to Houthi attacks on international shipping. Britain's draft resolution at the United Nations is urging for an immediate halt to hostilities in Sudan ahead of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The draft expresses grave concern over escalating violence and dire humanitarian conditions, especially in Darfur. The UN Secretary Council plans a swift vote which may take place by Friday. Sudan's conflict began last April. Since then, there have been ongoing clashes between the military and paramilitary forces. A United Nations food agency is warning of a looming hunger crisis in Sudan. Around 18 million Sudanese face acute hunger. Millions are trapped in conflict zones. The resolution calls for unhindered humanitarian access and a coordinated effort for a civilian led transition. The International Criminal Court suspects war crimes and genocide in Darfur. Recent UN reports highlight ethnic killings and brutality by Sudanese forces in Darfur. Michael Spavor has reached a settlement with the Canadian government for his 3-year detainment in China. Media reports suggest the settlement is worth $7 million. Exact details of the settlement remain unknown. Spavor and Michael Kovrig were detained in 2018 amid Canada-China-US tensions. The move was perceived as retaliation for arresting Chinese national Meng Wanzhou in Canada. Meng was Huawei's chief financial officer in Vancouver. Spavor and Kovrig were released by Chinese authorities in 2021 in exchange for the release of Meng. Spavor, who was a consultant in North Korea, spent over 1,000 days in prison. He alleged that his imprisonment came as he had unwittingly shared sensitive intelligence with Kovrig. Kovrig later provided that information to the Canadian government. Media reports say Spavor had threatened to sue the government. Global Affairs Canada has refrained from commenting. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.